Hey everyone, this is Wendy. This is Wendy's Parade of Perfume. Here on my channel, I just talk about the perfume that I have on my shelf and what I'm wearing and what I'm doing and things like that. And I'm low tech and I talk into my phone and I love hearing from all of my friends that show up for me. And I just wanted to say that because I like reading everyone's comments and writing back to you guys. So someone left me a comment, speaking of comments, last week and they're like, "Oh, I would love to see like what your holy grails are." You know how people do those lists, holy grail, blah blah, holy grail of rose perfumes, my holy grails, top 10 holy grails, blah blah blah. I don't necessarily think of perfume in those terms. I guess, I mean, that's a pretty big subject matter to take on. I can't say what a holy grail is or a masterpiece. It's very subjective. And there's so many perfumes that I like that I have a hard time saying that this is the one with a very few exceptions. So I made this list a very long time ago and I thought I would just pull it out. So in my mind, what I do have are perfumes that fill a hole in on my shelf. So there are some perfumes in certain categories that are the one and only that completely fulfill that need for that category, and that if I smell a similar perfume, I automatically don't need that. Now, on the opposite end, I get very obsessed with certain perfume styles. Like for a while, I was chasing incense perfumes. For a while, I was chasing vintage perfumes. For a while, I was obsessed with the desserty rose motif. For a long time, I was searching for more sandalwood fragrances, that sort of thing. So there's that end, but then there's other avenues that I can definitely, there's a big stop sign and there's that certain perfume. So I have about 10, 11 categories, and these are just random categories too, with very few exceptions. I'm not going to say this is the holy grail violet perfume or this is the holy grail date night perfume. I don't really do that, but do you know what I mean? So anyway, category number one out of my pile. I just showed this perfume a few weeks ago on my Dusty Perfumes video. Category number one. This is technically an older vintage bottle of Versace Crystal Noir Eau de Toilette. This fills the category of, I'm sorry, I have this written down, so I do need to look at my notes. Versace Crystal Noir fills the category of trashy white floral. And I mean that in the most loving way. I adore this perfume. It is loud. It is strong. It makes a statement. It will, if you put on enough of this will enter the room before. What's the saying? The perfume preceded her into the room. It will just stomp into the room before you even get in there. This perfume is so loud and so big, and a lot of what I smell like coconutty jasmine. I smell coconutty gardenia. I smell woody white flowers. So this is just a loud, 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 very white floral. And it's not my only white floral. It's not the queen bee of all white florals. But if you want a loud, in your face, unapologetic, trashy white floral, in my shelf, Versace Crystal Noir fills that hole. Okay, so on another category, I'm not the biggest gourmand person. I am not the biggest sweets person. I don't have a lot of those perfumes on my shelf. However, one day I met a perfume from Guerlain called French Kiss. And I believe now this is now at least put into a new bottle and called Rose Cherie. French Kiss is now Rose Cherie. Now what this perfume is roses and violets. That sounds pretty innocent, right? Oh, it's an old, roses and violets. No, 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 no. This is like the neon lollipop version of that. This is sweet as hell. This is, again, this is another loud one. It's just dense and syrupy. It's like a brick wall of candied violets and candied roses. And it is so sweet. And this is not something that I would normally wear. However, for some reason, I absolutely adore this perfume. I find this perfume it just makes me laugh. It makes me happy. It's a little bit of a mood booster. That said, again, I do not need another perfume that's on the level of this sweetness. This perfume is so god-awful sweet. Don't need it. This does it for me. This is where it ends. This is my neon fruity floral. What did I call it? Neon sweet fruity. Just sweet, 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 sweet French kiss from Guerlain. You're done. You've done it. Thank you very much. Um, on another sweet motif, I do like the category of dessert roses, and this is a very like fruit salad almost level of sweet fruity rose. There's pears in here, there's pink pepper in here, there's a lot of vanilla and benzoin around the rose. The perfume I'm talking about is from, if you can't tell from the shape of the bottle, from the La Nuit Trésor line from Lancôme. This is A La Folie. I greatly enjoy wearing this perfume too. It's a lot of fun. It's another kind of densely sweet, a bit syrupy, but heavy, heavy, heavy on the rose perfume. But as far as dessert roses goes, I don't need to go any more intense than this. This is the sweet spot. So thank you to Lancôme for their Trésor La Nuit Trésor à la Folie. The flankers are just, they're a little much. Okay, so we all know designer perfumes, right? They just, right now, in this time period, in the mid 2020s, we kind of have been to Sephora, we've been to Ulta, we've been to the Macy's counter, and we've smelled what designer perfumes smell like. This is a designer perfume that I greatly enjoy wearing. It's called Valentino Donna Born in Roma, and I looked this up today. I cannot believe this is already 6 years old. This came out in 2019, but I genuinely love wearing this. This is a jasmine heavy, but sweet and easy jasmine heavy with some pink pepper and roses and like a woody vanilla cashmere and dry down. But what this really is to me is like a quintessential what designer perfumes smell like perfume. I've heard that Prada Paradox smells like this. I don't know if I've actually never tested that. But while I enjoy wearing this, this is a great jasmine. It's fun, it's pretty, sometimes things just smell good and it doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. But that being said, if I'm at Sephora or Ulta and I smell another perfume that smells like this, I just put it right back on the shelf and I'm not interested because I have Valentina Born in Roma on my shelf and that fills that need. So thank you. Thank you very much because, the amount of perfumes I have on my shelf, it's nice to be like, yeah, thank you next, Oh, so switching gears a little bit, I have a bedtime perfume that I really like to wear, and I pretty much only wear it at night, and that is Mon Guerlain from Guerlain. Now, this is a little embarrassing. I'm going through this perfume organization. I can't find the original one that I usually wear to bed, but I do have the Floral version too, which I haven't worn in a long time actually, but they're very similar, and this is another one that I wear to bed. Anyway, a little digression about how disorganized I am at home. This line is based on lavender and vanilla, and it's lavender and vanilla and sandalwood and licorice, and the Floral has a little bit of it's just more slightly floral and sparkling than the other ones are. But for some reason, maybe it's just because I wear lavender perfumes during the day, but Mon Guerlain, this specific lavender vanilla perfume, I pretty much only wear it to bed, and I only wear it to bed at night in the wintertime. So I don't need any other wintertime, going to bed, nighttime perfumes. So that fits the spot for me, which is Mon Guerlain from Guerlain. This happens to be a Floral bottle, but we'll just ignore that. I have some of the other flankers too, like I have Sparkling Bouquet. I wear that one during the day and things like that, but I don't know. I've had that other bottle of Mon Guerlain for years, and I don't think I've ever worn it during the day. I just don't see it as it's not a daytime perfume. It's winter, it's 20 degrees out, you're getting cuddly up and you're going to bed. That's just what I do. Okay, so another perfume category, which is smells like money. You smell like $1,000,000. You smell like you're the most sophisticated man or woman in the face of the earth. You smell like you just know what you're doing. You just smell like confidence. You just smell like money. And for me, that perfume is Chanel 31 Rue Cambon. I'm not going to go into what this smells like. This has a lot of iris and leather in this fragrance. It's considered to be a modern chypre style. That doesn't matter. What this smells like is the most well-blended vat of money that money can buy. And this perfume is perfection. It's sophisticated. I love it. And this is my money perfume. That is 31 Rue Cambon from Chanel. Okay, I guess more on the other sweeter motifs. My French bakery gourmand is a Lolita Lempica perfume called Fleur de Fendu. This perfume is a little bit special to me because for a very, very long time, I think I mentioned that I really am not like a super sweet gourmand person. I'm still not, but for many years, I was like, that's a caramel note. I'm not going to smell it. That has a, anything that I even perceived as being sweet in a perfume, I automatically just rejected out of hand and I didn't want to smell it. I don't know how this fell into my lap, but it did. And I just I was just blown away about of how much I liked wearing it. Now, Lolita Lempica, they add other perfume notes in, like violet leaf, and they do have a mad like a bit of earthiness to their perfume, so they're not just like blatant like you're smushing cupcakes all over your face type of level of sweetness. But Fleur de Fendu, it reminds me of cherries and like bakery crust and just being near like a wonderful like French bakery with that like pastry and fruit compote scent coming out of it, with a maybe a little hit of licorice and like I said, like a little like green violet leaf also. But this is just a perfect gourmand, French gourmand in the French gourmand bakery category. Fleur de Fendu from Lolita Lempica. Let's get some older kiddos out here, shall we? Now, one note that I have a reference of, whenever I think of this note of vetiver, I think of the classic Guerlain perfume from 1959, which is just Guerlain vetiver. I have this is a bit of an older bottle of this. So Guerlain vetiver, it's mixed with tobacco, it's mixed with hay. It's a bit of like a grassy field / earthy / old school, bordering on like barbershop-y type of vetiver. But I love a lot of vetivers, and I have other vetivers that I like just as much of this. But when I just think of I want to wear a vetiver perfume, or I think of vetiver and I think of Guerlain's vetiver, which is still around and kicking, 70 years later, thank God. But yeah, I think that a confident woman who is not afraid of vintage / masculine notes would be very happy with this. It's very pretty. Unfortunately, I missed out on Guerlain had a vetiver pour elle, vetiver per women perfume back in the day, and I was just never able to get my hands on it. But that's another subject. So anyway, I really, really think that this is still the gold standard for vetiver, and that's Guerlain's vetiver. And that's all I have to say about that. So another old perfume, I don't wear this perfume all the time, but Grès Cabochard, this fills the hole for me of just vintage. Like those designer perfumes that I'm like, oh, I want to smell like a designer perfume. I want to smell like the Sephora shelf. I'll wear Valentina Donna, Born in Roma. When I'm in the mood to just wear a vintage perfume, wear those woods and tobaccos and those dark notes and the leathers and just the way things used to smell, I wear Grès Cabochard. Now, this perfume is not for everyone. This also was released in the 1950s and has been through God knows how many reformulations. I've had several different bottles of this over the years. They've all smelled different. Unfortunately, the really old bottles that I've had, I don't feel like this perfume keeps very well, so it's not really, in my opinion, worth it to get a super old bottle because I don't think they hold up very well. But the new bottles are really pretty, and they still have, in my opinion, the vintage character that the perfume deserves. Is it different? Yes. Is it stripped out? Yes. But there's still the tobacco, there's still the vetiver, there's still the leather, there's still the darkness, there's still there's still like the citruses and the aldehydes. It just smells like an old perfume. It smells like what it is of its time, and I really like wearing this. So here's to you for still sticking around, Grès Cabochard. I have this bottle too, and this one, like I said, there's so many different versions. This version smells more like Estee Lauder's Augerey of all things, if anyone remembers that perfume, but that's a whole nother subject matter. Okay, winding down. So remember when I said that I like to chase perfume categories, and I'm a huge sandalwood fan, and there are so many sandalwood perfumes that I really, really love, dozens and dozens. new, old, vintage. I even like some of the newer style, not necessarily the Santai 33 type, but there are new ones that I like. But every time I smell a sandalwood perfume, as much as I like to wear it, I still go back to what I consider to be the best sandalwood of all time, which is Guerlain Samsara. It just is. I just haven't found anything better. The only bottles that I have and wear are the 1990s Clears bottles and the late 90s through about 2015 when they had the red bottles. That to me is what that dry down and what punches through the entire composition is real sandalwood. It just smells like real sandalwood. A lot of the sandalwood perfumes that they have out today, while I like them and they're a form of sandalwood, they're not the quintessential old fashioned Mysore sandalwood, which is very, very hard to get now. And, it just smells different. Times change. What can I say? So yeah, I guess it's funny, the two reference notes categories I have are both Guerlains. But yeah, I think that Samsara is my reference sandalwood. And while I am still willing to test other sandalwood perfumes and see if I like them, it is no longer a quest for me because I'm like, Wendy, just go wear Samsara. If you're looking for a sandalwood, just go put your Samsara on. That's all you have to do. And last but not least, in honor of the jean jacket I'm wearing today, I didn't know how else to phrase this, but perfumes that go well with the jean jacket. Elizabeth and James Nirvana Black. This is the new bottle I'm working on. This is like, I think, the third bottle I've used up. This is the third bottle that I've on. I've used up 2 other small bottles of this, and I now have a 100 ml bottle to use up, which hopefully this will take me a hot minute to get through. As you can tell, I have worn this perfume a lot over the years. This perfume probably now is about 10 years old. It is a sandalwood. Speaking of sandalwood, again, I like wearing other sandalwoods. This is a sandalwood perfume, but it's a low profile sandalwood perfume. It's androgynous. It's easy to wear. It has a certain slight moody darkness to it, but yet it's easy enough to wear and it's simple enough that you can wear it anywhere. I've worn this in the summertime. I've worn this in the wintertime. I've worn this in the heat. I've worn this in the cold. I've worn this to work. I've worn this to, dinner. I've worn this to bed. I've worn this perfume all over the place. And this is probably one of the most worn perfumes I have on my shelf. And, same thing with just something easy and classic, like a pair of jeans or jean jacket. Like you're running out the door, you're putting your jacket on, it may be the fall, it may be the spring, and you just want to spritz something on that smells good and will do the job. And that is Elizabeth and James Nirvana Black. So those are my 11 categories. I'm not saying that they're holy grails, but when I think of a certain perfume, category that I need, or maybe sometimes a certain note or something that I'm doing or something I want to feel like, I want to smell like $1 million, I'm going to wear my 31 Rue Cambon, right? Anyway, tell me what you think of this list, or if you have certain perfumes for a certain occasion, not necessarily like the quintessential rose perfume or the best ever, I don't know, going to Las Vegas perfume. I don't know. There's so many little categories we have now for our perfumes because we have so many on our shelf. But anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Tell me, what's your trashy white floral? What's your money perfume? What's your winter bedtime perfume? I would love to know. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.